welcome back. I'm just driving up to the farmhouse right now, and normally I time it. So about halfway up, there's a town called Hinckley, Minnesota, and I'll stop there for lunch at a place called Cassidy's. So I pull in there today, and I'm hungry, and they're closed, and they're closed for good. The place has been open, I read about it, since like in the 50s. And now they're closed for business, so it's like, so I get back on the road, and then my grandparents used to live in a town called Asco, and when you come off of this freeway, this is probably 12 miles more north than Cassidy's, there's a restaurant there called Banning Junction, which we used to eat there all the time in the morning driving up to like the tent, but then they stopped doing the eggs, and you get eggs, hash brown, and steak, so steak and eggs, and they stopped doing that, so we stopped going there. Anyway, I was like, I'll go in there and get a burger, so I stop at Banning Junction, I go in there, it's totally changed, and now all they do is you can get like specialty sandwiches or pizza. There was nobody at the counter, so now I jump in the truck again, and I'm gonna just go up to the Lazy Bear, where I ate last week, but you get a ton of fries there. So anyway, it's taken me a long time before I get any lunch. Well, I've been out tinkering with the tractor a little bit here. I put the finish mower back on and did a little bit of mowing out in the field. Out in this field, I actually raised it up some in the front quite a bit, so I'm not mowing the whole works down at once, but I'm having a little bit of a problem with the tractor. It started doing it a little bit last week, and it's only when I'm running it on a kind of a heavy load. It's like it's starved for gas. It sounds like it's running out of gas, and I find if I pull out on the choke, it'll help for a little bit, and then it'll still sputter with that too. So I need to get a hold of Kenny Kizzle and ask if there is like a fuel filter on here or anything, because I'm sure that this tractor hasn't been worked like this in a long time. So if there was anything, the tank looks pretty clean in there, but if there was any gunk anywhere, it's definitely had a chance to work its way free, the way we've been putting this tractor through the work, clearing this brush and everything. And I'm not sure, I hear that these things are easy to work on, but until I really know what I'm looking for, I don't want to tear anything apart. I mean, it runs fine if I'm just idling it along or half throttle or whatever, and I can see the gas line comes into the carburetor here, but then my throttle adjustment is way back over here, so I have no idea what this is all doing. So I think I'll text Kenny tonight and see what he says and go from there. I want to get any bugs out before the snow flies for sure. I did bring the old new tent boat up this far. I'll park it here at the farmhouse for now. I also have these two blue chairs. My folks were getting rid of them probably about a year ago. Asked if I wanted them, and at first we didn't, and then I said I would take them, and I think I'm just going to put them in the workshop here so there's somewhere to sit. Melissa is home from work now, and she's in there making dinner. I think what I'm going to do, I kind of put this off last week. I got too involved with cleaning up around the workshop barn. I want to get the door done on the back side of this chicken coop. Once I do that, I can actually bring the chickens up here anytime I want, because they're going to be staying inside the building for quite a while before we can let them out, so they can free range and they'll know where to go back in. I think I'll pull my tools out and start tinkering with that right now. It's not going to be that big of a door. I'm going to make a much smaller door. And then I did the job that we're on right now. I had a couple of doors that we needed to throw into a dumpster, and I always take the hinges off the doors and I save them. So I have them in the truck, so I have hinges for the door. Melissa is making sausage and cabbage tonight.
Fresh cabbage from the garden.
Yeah, I brought this head up right from the garden. Looks like Beauty already likes the chairs. So I just texted Kenny maybe 10 minutes ago about the tractor, and last week when it did it, I took that sediment bowl off and dumped it, put it back on there, and it seemed like it worked better for maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes, and it started doing it again. And he said that his guess is that the fuel outlet from the tank is plugged at the sediment bowl assembly. He said there's a screen in the fuel inlet going into the carburetor, but it's most likely on the sediment bowl end. What I usually do is take the bowl off, grab a thin, stiff piece of wire and shove it up into the small holes in the casting for the fuel bowl. You have to have the fuel valve open, so it's a messy job, but there's probably a bunch of sediment that has settled into that sediment bowl casting and valve. If you crack the valve with the bowl off and only get a trickle out of those holes in the casting, then it's definitely plugged. You should be able to fill a quart jar in under 3 minutes. That's what the problem is. I didn't know, so I pulled the bowl off and dumped it, put the bowl back on, and when I turned it on, it just trickled. It would have taken, to do a quart jar, it would have taken 10 minutes. That's what it is. Looking in the tank, it looks totally clean. But yeah, so I'm going to do that tomorrow for sure. If you guys want to go to his channel, just go to YouTube and search for Kenny Kizzle. That simple. He's got a ton of tractor stuff, and he goes to all the threshing shows and stuff. It's really interesting. It really did take it down, didn't it?
Yeah. Set back there.
Yeah. I think the fire was more. If it's not windy tomorrow, I'll burn on it some more. I'm determined to at least get started on this. I keep getting sidetracked. Kenny did text me again and said that the correct thing to do would be to take that tank off the Farmall, pressure wash the crap out of it, and then let it sit and dry for a day or two and then put it back on. But I told him I'm not really that ambitious to do that right now, so I'll do the first thing that he said, and then if it seems to plug again, then I'll do that. And then I joked that, of course, you know, it's way more fun when it's 20 below. And he said, yeah, it'll happen when it's 20 below. And we just got a fresh 18 inches of snow, and I'll be out pulling the tractor gas tank. Just went and grabbed some of the stuff I've been collecting all summer in the workshop there. I think I'm going to run in and see how that sausage and cabbage is doing. Oh, you put some more cabbage on there?
Yep.
Slowly cooking her all down?
Yep, that's the last of it.
I definitely want to lift this off the ground because not that this would get opened very much in the wintertime, but if you want to open it up in the wintertime and you've got all that snow, that door being up here farther will make it much easier. Well, I'm going to have to call it a night for tonight because I just can't see good enough anymore. I can't read my level. We'll have to come back at this tomorrow morning. Well, it's about 20 after 10. Melissa and I are going to bed, and I will see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. I just decided to finish up this stump work so I don't have to think about it anymore before winter. What was that?
Onion powder.
Oh. Garlic powder? Wow. Well, for lunch today we're going to do hamburgers. And we're going to do some French fries in the air fryer. And I might as well use this to cook them. How many burgers are you going to make?
All of them.
I threw some more charcoal on here because I didn't know that we were doing the whole thing of hamburgers. There's I think 12 of them. So we'll cook those and eat what we want, and then we'll put the rest in the freezer. Let's see, 30 minutes. We need to go 15. I have the last 4 burgers on. Oh, did that one come out of the garden? One of the red ones or purple ones?
I mean, it's got onions in it, but...
Yeah, put some on top. These last 4 are turning out perfect. Well, the door is done. I've built nicer doors before, but it's the back of the chicken coop. It'll work just fine. And then eventually, this is all cedar here, so when I get some more green treated boards, I think I have some in the workshop, but anyway, then I'm going to do everything else. Then I can decide if I want to put a piece of trim around here. I probably won't on a back door, because as soon as you do that, then there's a chance something can get behind there, or if you're in the wintertime, you open this up, you go back and it sweeps the snow and you can't get it shut. And then over here, once we have the chickens and this is caged in, I will cut a opening here that hinges in on the inside so the chickens can get out when we want, but we can lock it up to keep them in if we want them to stay inside. I was just inside and watched a movie with Melissa. It took about an hour and a half. But when we bought this property, there's the regular well, and then the ad said that there was also another Sandpoint well on the property, and we've never been able to find it. I found a couple pipes that I thought would probably be it, and it ended up not being it. And this was one of them right here, and it had the other plastic pipe next to it, so I thought for sure, so I put I don't know, it was like a nut on the end of a string and put it down there, but it went just down a little ways and stopped. So I don't know if that was one and they filled it. And I don't know, because I mean somehow they got water to that barn years ago and I don't know how. But anyway, our search keeps on continuing. And Melissa and I were out here in the chicken coop last night, and we're looking at this here, and there's this pipe sticking up, which I've said before, they even had water in here, but I never thought about it. And then Melissa said maybe that was the Sandpoint well. So I just tied a wrench on the end of this string, and it didn't stop. It kept going down, and I marked the water level here. It goes into the water exactly 10 feet. So it's, you know, hits the water, goes down 10 feet, and that's where the bottom of the well is. So at one time, that sauna, you could be in there and there was just a hand pump well that you just pumped your water and poured it on top of that stove, and that's how it that's how you got your steam. But that means all we have to do is screw a pump on there, and if the power were to go out like it did a couple of times for quite a while last year, you could pump water. I don't know that I would drink this water without boiling it or something, but you could use it to fill the toilet or whatever you needed. And you could also pump this water and give it to the chickens. You wouldn't have to have bring pails of water out here. You could pump it right here if you wanted. I think it's time to play around with the tractor here. I wanted to wait till later in the day because after this I'll probably have to take a shower. I'll be smelling like gas. So I'll pull that sediment bowl out, and I've got a little piece of wire here. I don't know if this is too big or not to stick up in there. We'll see what we can do. I'd like to do, I could take that whole thing off of there, Kenny said, but I'd rather try to do the less evasive at first and see if that works and then go from there. You can see here that's wide open right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this whole piece off because you go up here, but to get into the tank you'd have to go there, so I can't really see what I'm doing. Definitely a bunch of crud in there. Kenny said there's a screen thing that you can get that, I don't know if it goes inside the tank or somewhere. There's like a screen you can put to help this, but he said that he's had a hard time with those. So. Look at that big chunk. That almost looks like a piece of plastic. I noticed that the glass bowl, it doesn't leak, but you can see that the glass is cracked. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to just buy this whole new setup with a new glass bowl and everything and put it in there. Not sure how well you can see that. There you go. See the crack in there? It's like I don't know if it goes all the way through. Like I said, it doesn't leak, but probably a good idea to get another one. I played around for about a half hour on the tractor. I just did a little bit over here. And I do keep it up a little bit high. The finish mower does have its limitations. When I get into this real thick grass, you have to lift it up or the PTO will still move, but the blades won't. They'll stop. So at that point, you're spinning on the belt, the pulley is. But so I guess it's important to get out in the spring as soon as you can get into the field when it's not wet and you're sinking in, and keep it mowed down if you're going to use a finish mower to do it all. This is a good example here. I started plowing through this full and it stopped, you know, and it wouldn't cut. You can also come through and take like half when you go, but you still have to kind of lift it up. I imagine with a bush hog type of a mower with the heavier blades, it's probably got more force to keep swinging them. I'm not sure. I've never used one of those. But as far as the tractor goes, now that we cleaned all that junk out of there, the thing worked flawlessly. This front pasture here is what I was in mowing for most of the time. It took that down pretty good. It was already, the grass was too thick to run the Husqvarna through here. It got too thick, but with that finish mower, it took it right down. But right now I'm going to run in and take a shower because I smell like gasoline. Well, it's starting to get dark out. I'm going to run out and grab all the SD cards out of the trail cameras because we have not taken a look at those yet. I actually pulled 3 of the 4 cameras. I'm going to see if I can't screw around with fixing the date or see what's up with that, check the batteries. So let's go inside and see what pictures we got. Okay everyone, well it's about 20 minutes after 10. I have a load of laundry in the dryer. Melissa and I are going to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning everybody. Just taking it easy this morning. Thought I'd get these chairs unloaded and put into the workshop here. All we need is a wood stove now. We have a place to sit. What are you doing, beauty? If I don't pull the boat up to the tent this year, I'm going to park it behind the workshop barn for the winter, but for right now I'm just going to let it sit here. I'll know within a week or two if I'm going to haul this up or not. I'm going to drive up and fill up all the gas cans so we have gas for the tractor and for the lawnmower because that lawn needs to be mowed. I think Melissa's going to do that this afternoon. And then I want to get my truck filled up with diesel because right after lunch I have to head south. Well, I have all of the trail cameras put back out. This is the one that caught the picture of the wolf. I think, I don't know, another one of these I switched to taking pictures and video. And that one that was way in the woods, I took that one out of the woods now and I put that in the corner, the back corner of the far pasture behind the workshop barn. So hopefully next week we'll get some decent pictures where I move that new one. There's a really good deer trail back there. I mean, it's probably the same deer, but you never know. Okay everyone, well thanks a lot for watching. That was a delicious lunch and now both Melissa and I have enough food that I don't think we'll have to cook the whole entire week. You know winter's coming when they have their straw for sale again. I will see you guys on the next video.